Hey guys, welcome to the LY show, the Waiting Out COVID-19 series. I'm Ying. In today's episode, we continue to talk to people about how they cope with this pandemic. Today, we're very glad to have Duan Jing joining us from Xi'an, China. Hi, Duan Jing.
Hi, yeah, I'm very honored to be invited here, right? And very nice to meet you, Ling.
Okay, thank you so much. So where are you, Duan Jing, at the moment?
Okay, at this moment, I'm at home in Xi'an. Okay, after the online courses, right? Okay, I'm very excited, right, to join your program today.
We're very excited to have you too. What do you do for a living?
Yes, I worked in a local university in Xi'an, right?
Okay, how long have you been working here for?
Yes, that is 2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So now you're teaching online.
Yes, so for those days, especially for this semesters, right, we always teaching online. Yes, but sometimes it's very tired for teaching online, and the students do not always follows you, right? Do not always follows you, and you don't know what they are doing actually. Yeah.
All right. So you find online teaching challenging compared to face-to-face teaching, huh?
Yes, it's very challenging, right? Okay, for the teachers, right? For the first part, you need to know how to, you know what to teach today, right? Yeah, just now I showed the PPT about the students, but they are still puzzled about what I am explaining about, right? Just now I teach them about the writing task, right? Writing, how to summarize the numbers, especially for the very big numbers, things like this.
All right. And what about your students' initial reaction about online teaching?
Actually, in the first place, at the beginning of the online teaching, they were very excited, right? Because they can, right, like the, broadcasting, right? Okay. But with the passage of time, yeah, they lose interest, right? They lose interest. They feel very tired, and sometimes it's not good at to just now. It's very lazy. Do not like to give you answers. Just now I asked them too many questions, but I wait a long time, right? And a student will jump out, right, giving the answers. Other students, I don't know what are they doing, but I try my best to stimulate their interest and to arouse their interest based focused on my teaching.
Do you think this semester or this term you will have to teach online the whole time?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe next month, we will come to the reopening of the university, right? I'm not sure. Yeah,
Well,
I hope. Yeah, we can have the face-to-face teaching. Yeah.
How's the situation in Xi'an?
Okay. Yeah, situation in Xi'an now. Yes, today. Yes, we know the news that is from yesterday, right? We find the reopening of the Wuhan, right, and the Hubei province, right? And in Xi'an, everything is normal because there are a few cases in Xi'an, right? There are together 7 cases now. Okay, 7 cases now. Okay, still in the hospital. Okay, so the normal life, right, is very common, right? So many people, right, go around, but still with a mask, right, face mask, right? Okay, we need to take a face mask and very careful, right? Very careful about the epidemic, right? And especially for the kids, right? We seldom to take kids outside, right? We just sometimes go to walk, okay, now and go to the supermarket to buy something and quickly back home, right? And at the beginning, we don't know about about this disease, right? And at the beginning of the 2020, the January, right? My wife and I went to the Malaysia, right, to go to the UTM for study, right? You know that, right? Okay, at that time, we don't know anything about this case. Just from a blog, we find some the unidentified pneumonia in Wuhan, right? But everybody, okay, including us, right, didn't pay much attention to this disease. But in the UTM, right, you know the Johor Bahru is very near to Singapore, right? And we find a lot of cases in Singapore, right? That is from a group of the a group of the tourists, right, that they are from Wuhan, right, and they get infected in Singapore, and at that time everything become very dangerous, right? And all of us are very nervous. We're nervous in Johor Bahru. We buy the masks, right? And to heard the news every day. At that time, from the news, we find that they call this disease at the Wuhan pneumonia, right? But actually, nowadays we got the name, right? We got the name that's COVID-19. Okay, at that time, I'm still, we are all worried about why did it happen? Why the group of the the Wuhan, right? The people from Wuhan. Why is it? Okay, so many cases, right? The rush into the Malaysia, right? And that time we know things get worse, and even in the Malaysia, right? Okay, the local people are infected. And I still remember that is my wife and I went to the supermarket in Johor Bahru and take the taxi. I took the taxi. The driver didn't wear a mask. We asked why you don't take a mask. He said that this kind of this kind of disease is from China, and only Chinese people can be infected. Okay. Now that will be the very ridiculous, right? We have nothing to see, right? We keep silent because we are not sure what is it, right? What is it at that time? Okay, we just keep silent. Okay, now at the beginning of the February, right, we find that so many flights from Malaysia to China has been cancelled. Then we quickly make the decision that we came back to China immediately. At the 6th of February, we came back home. I came back home, and we still remember that will be a hard experience from boarding to airplane and landing, right? Okay, we have the mask with N95, right? Okay, and sometimes we take the gloves, right? Yes, in the plane, on the plane, we didn't talk each other, right? And until the plane landed in Xi'an, right? Okay, when we get home, the communities, right? In Xi'an is very strict, right? We need to register and to told them about the information about us, and then we come to our self-quarantine, right, for the 14 days in Xi'an. Okay. After that, the things is getting better and better, right? Get better, especially because Shanxi province and of course all the countries, right? Okay, take the very strict restriction, right? Okay, now things get better and better. After 14 days after the quarantine, right, we can to meet our family members, and that will be very made us very delighted.
All right. So when you and your wife were quarantined, who was taking care of your baby?
My mother-in-law and my father-in-law live in Shenyang City, right? Yeah, that is far from us, right? That will be safe at that time.
I see. I see. So was it difficult to raise a baby during this time?
The 1 year old, that is quite different from the small babies. They need to have the very normal diet each day, right? Okay, we need to cook some things like the adults, right? For him, sometimes, but he is like eating the food, right? Sometimes we need to have the very hard work and to make him, right, focus on the food. Like this is very nice, it's delicious, you see. Now if you don't eat it, we will give it to your car, okay, to your toys. It's like this, right? Okay, to help him focus on focus on the food. And sometimes we teach him about the English letters, right? You see, okay, his name is Jason, right? We say, Jason, now this is the A. If you can eat some food, I will give you the A. I'll give you some flowers, right? Things like this. Yeah.
So when you couldn't go out, was it difficult for you to get food?
Yes, just now we have I have told you that is about there was a small supermarket in our community, in our quarter. Yeah, I can get some vegetables, right? 3 days, okay, 3 days a week. I can go to the supermarket to buy some things and cooking for ourselves. Luckily, we are quarantined in our house, in our rooms. That is very convenient. Yeah, we didn't isolated in a hotel. Yeah, things like this because we came back to Xi'an early, right? Okay. If we back later, that will be difficult for us, right? We need to live in the hotel maybe.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when you were in Malaysia, you could see that there are more cases in Malaysia, and that's the reason why you wanted to come back to Xi'an?
Yes, we find that at the beginning of the February, so many flights, right? So many flights would be cancelled, right? We find the flight to Shanghai, right, flight to Beijing or Guangzhou, right, cancelled, okay, one by one. But unfortunately, the flight to Xi'an is okay. Then we change our mind and do some changes and immediately to buy the tickets and back to Xi'an as quickly as possible. Now, do you still remember our friends? That is Chunli, right? Yeah, Chunli went back to Shanghai, but at that time there's no flight to Shanghai. He changed his itinerary quickly and to go to another place and to take many flights and then back to her hometown.
If it was not for the virus, you would stay in Malaysia for a longer period of time for your PhD studies, right?
Yeah, at least 1 month. At least 1 month. But according to our plan, we will come back to China at the end of the February.
Were your studies affected?
Actually, I applied for our mother's university, right? Our mother school. And actually, I didn't apply for the UTM because I didn't find the majors like our TLYS majors in the UTM. Then I changed the mind to apply for the UM. Yes, of course, I got the offer of the UM, but yes, my supervisor Adelina, right, told me that it will need at least 5 years. Okay, the 5 years to finish, right? To finish the PhD courses and including the thesis. So I changed my mind. I want to wait and see. Maybe I will find another university to apply for. So this time to Malaysia, that is for my wife. My wife is a PhD student in the UTM. Okay, now I am just a family member to accompany her, right, to finish her studies. Yeah, the UTM, everything is normal at that time. Everything is normal. We can go to the classes and we can go to find our supervisors, okay, normally, and to find how to adapt ourselves to the new environment.
I see. So initially, you guys were afraid of the disease. After you came back to China, after getting quarantined, were you still afraid or you felt better?
But actually, in Xi'an, the things is not as the same as in Hubei province, right? So everything actually is okay, right, for us, right? We can manage our lives, okay, manage our studies and manage our works, right, together. Okay, my wife and I working in the same university. Yeah, and for her, yes, she need to teach her students online every day. Okay, so everything I think is okay. It's not badly affected by the disease, right?
Yeah. Do you think your experience has any influence on you?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And we hope that this kind of academic can be over as quickly as possible. But this experience influenced us deeply, right? Okay, now we learned how to keep calm, right? When we are in the foreign countries, okay, whether of course, now today that is global pandemic about this disease. Okay, some students write to find the safe place. If China is safe, they'll go to China. If the foreign countries are safe, then fly to the foreign countries. I think it's not very, sometimes it's not very reasonable and not very wise. Okay, not very wise. It is wise to, anywhere you stay, you need to protect yourself and stay there, right? Stay there and listen to the leaders, right? Listen to follow the policies and do some very necessary works. I do some, you need to take the measures, right? And based on the local governments. And do not frightened and do not nervous, and you should keep calm. Okay. Now for me, this is a very valuable experience. Keep calm. Okay. Keep calm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you follow the news on the world?
You mean follow the news on the world? Okay. Now, yes. When back to China, we follow the news every day. Actually, nowadays, recently, we have to always to read the news from all over the world to find the cases, right? So many identified cases, right, in the foreign countries, especially in the America or the European countries, right? Actually, when we see these cases, yes, it's very hard to see. That is a very strange feelings, right? Okay, China now is okay, our motherland, to take the strict measures to cure this kind of disease and fight against the war and get the succeed in the first place, right? In the first place, and other countries, maybe that is a different systems of the countries, right? Yes, this kind of policies and measures varies from country to country. We need to wait and see, and we believe that everything will be okay.
You're pretty positive. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing with us your stories. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Okay, I think that is my just feelings, right? We of course, during this kind of epidemic, we moved from the Malaysia to Xi'an, and then moved to Xi'an to Xianyang, right, to look after the babies. We have the 3 places, right? We have the lives, right, in the different places and get the different experience, especially, of course, by the way, especially to promote of the living skills, especially for cooking, right? We cook many foods, especially for my wife, right? My wife cook many foods, like local foods or the Western foods, like the cooking and the baking. Okay. And, yes, yeah, in Malaysia, we are very missing about 凉皮, you know, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, true.
Yeah, we cook it by ourselves, right? We follow the instructions on the blog that we find that many people share their foods, yes, on WeChat, right? Or vlog, so many platforms for them to share the pictures. And yes, we are very sometimes and we want to eat it, right? Especially for the local foods of our hometown.
Yeah. So you take advantage of the time of staying at home and improved on your cooking skills.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you so much for spending your time with us, and stay well. And I hope everything gets back to normal as soon as possible.
Okay, the same to you, Li. Okay, I hope to see you soon, right?
Yeah. See you.